let's build a new website using the Hacks CLI. So you go to hackstheweb.org or hacks.cloud is probably the easiest way to find your way to this repo. Let's have hacks.cloud and then click CLI at the top, where you can learn more about the project via these interactive demos. But if I jump over to the CLI, we've got the documentation on how to get this going. So I'm going to do npm install, create global. It's going to think for a little bit, and it's going to install for me the Hacks CLI. All right, installed. All right, now I should be able to hit Hacks start. And we're told to never stop innovating. We're going to build a cool future together real easily too. So I'm going to select option 2 by pushing down. It's going to create a hack site. It's going to default relative to where I am. In this case, it's put it in the sites directory because that's where I was. So I hit tab. I'm going to name this Hacks Student Pipeline, because, or actually, let's do it Hacks Club, because I want to communicate some stuff about the Hacks Club. And then we're going to go with, we'll say Polaris Flex Sidebar. All right, so I've got the starting point for a new Hacks site in this case. Now, in the Hacks CLI, we can see in the README, we've got all these different ways that you can set this up, potential installation issues you might run into. But what I want to go to now is examples where we've really fleshed out all the different commands that we have. So the CLI is rather robust. It can be used to build brand new web components that stand alone and don't have to have anything to do with Hacks, just easy to build with. Or it can be used to administer sites, either creating brand new ones or working with existing ones. So you can see there's lots of examples here as far as how to do different flags, get stats, edit content, delete content, and do different site operations. For example, if I was to want to change the theme, I could copy this command. I'm going to open a new window. I'm going to go into this site. It's called Hacks Club. And I'm going to run that command. So that just changed the theme. Now, if I go back and I refresh, I see that I've switched themes. So we get a feature parity as best we can with things that we can do via the UI. All right, so I do want to communicate some things about Hacks Club because it's awesome. We're going to go, and we don't need this page though, at least the initial content on it. I could use the page outline and delete this stuff even faster. I could have just deleted the page, but I wanted to show an alternative way of doing this. I could also undo, because I did want all these RPG characters for funsies. All right, and then we'll move that paragraph up to the top of the page. Welcome to the future of Hacks Club. For students, by students, helping students by reducing the cost of education through the reduction in costs of web building and publishing. All right, so we can leave that on there, why not? All right, so we've got our fun little RPG, guys, and we can modify that one. I want that one to be the error hat. That's like sort of a hidden, there's like the error and the hidden, there's some hidden ones in here that you don't normally have access to, but you do here, and obviously there's going to be coffee, and that one's going to be on fire, because it has to be. Right, so we can still do those fun things. Save our content. Let's use some of the Hacks commands. So I could do Hacks site node -add, and we're going to add a page, and it's going to have the title of Student Innovation Pipeline. All right, so I'll get some response from there, if I refresh my site, it's created a new page called the Student Innovation Pipeline. And the Student Innovation Pipeline is something we'll be talking more and more about, and it is Hacks Club. So I made this little infographic to help visualize this. So the Sustainable Open Source Innovation Pipeline. This is using the institution in order to benefit the students and the larger open source community and the institution itself, just through minor curricular adjustment, right? So we have to teach web development in this one course that's mentioned here. It's ISC 256. And if we teach web development that is in a modern sort of a context, and it happens to be contributing to a larger effort, process optimization will allow us to do the following: a minor adjustment of process for dramatically more impactful outcomes, right? And so what we are trying to do with that process adjustment, I wanted to do my markdown shortcut. I might have to move that to the bottom. Other than fix whatever that little issue was there, I'm not sure what that issue is. Right, so this process adjustment that we'll end up having here is students learn modern web development. They engage in projects from the Hacks issue queue. Those issues come from courses, loggers, and other sites that are using Hacks and report issues. This creates a pipeline where students learn about the web by improving the fabric of the web we leverage. All right. I'd save. I've got my little write-up about what the Sustainable Open Source Innovation Pipeline is. I can still just use the normal UI, right? I can add a page, and we can make changes to that page. We're going to call this contact. Get involved. All right, so club will start meeting regularly in the near future. Get additional details. Join the Hacks the Club Discord channel. Alright, so I can highlight that. And this is bit.ly/hacks-discord. Okay. Move a picture of me. Right. Come on, you. Right. All right, put the letter O there. All right. So we've got Welcome to Hacks Club. You can read about the thing. We can learn about the innovation pipeline, and we can get involved. Now, this is still just on my computer, right? And that's awesome. You can modify this. These files live here, but I want them to go somewhere. So looking through these commands, which can list files, import things, turn the entire site into Markdown, which I'm not going to lie is pretty neat. If I just read the commands and say site.md, well, there's all the content I just wrote as Markdown. Or I could say site.html, there's the entire site as a singular HTML file. I could output that to a file if I really wanted to, but this doesn't help me necessarily. I want to get this out on the web. And so the fastest way to do that is I'm going to do hacks site:/surge. Surge is short for surge.sh, which is a static asset publishing engine that is awesome. Awesome for getting sites out very quickly and free. So I'm going to call this, we're not going to do hacks CLI. Let's do like hacks the club. Right, so you pick a domain. Granted, that domain has to be something that's available on Surge. If you go to surge.sh, you can read more about their CLI, but we automatically install and support Surge out of the box when you get our CLI. And so now, this little site that I just made is going to be available for you all to go to. There's my content with my file, and I can get and promote Hacks Club from here. So if I realize, oh shoot, this says the student innovation pipeline, and that's great, but this page's slug didn't automatically get updated to get involved, right? Then I can go back to my site running locally, and we can select page details. That's under advanced, and we'll change that slug to get involved. All right, and I don't need that additional paragraph there. Save. All right, so then I go back to publishing. I'm going to tell it, let's make sure it goes to the same domain. Let's see what happens. Hacks the club. And so it should recognize that my computer is the thing that sent this initial request. And as a result, I have ownership or control over hackstheclub.surge.sh so that it'll get pushed up there, overwrite the assets that it has currently, and then we should be able to access Hacks the Club. Oh, there we go. Took a second. Right, so the first time this published, it was 62 files. Yeah, that actually shouldn't change. It's like one line, yeah. So that part shouldn't change. So let's see if I'm going to have to refresh. All right, so refresh. And now that change is reflected. Right, this is an unbelievably powerful publishing pipeline. Those assets that went up, all right, we have 62 files that make up this site. This is sort of what is a hack site and the folder structure. So if I were to open this, we just have these assets sitting here. Now, some caveats to this running on surge.sh. It's powered by our CDN network. It's not going to get indexed because of robots.txt limitations intentionally imposed by Surge, which I totally understand why they do. But this is an incredibly powerful way to get content up on the web free and in a format that's highly portable and ubiquitous. And I can now take this site and pull it down and import it somewhere else. For example, if I had, let's say, hacks.cloud fired up, or I had hacks.psu.edu and I went and logged into the official service, then I could start a new site by importing from an existing one. And that one of those options is an existing hack site. Well, now that's a valid hack site on the internet, and that would just ingest that material. If I wanted to experiment with this same thing here, showcased in a web container, I can pull that material into the web container, build this Hacks Club site. Oh, it didn't like that I went and clicked forward to it. I must have disconnected the container. Let's see if that works again. I don't often go to this domain or attempt to do site importing in this way. I'll tell you that. So let's see. It claims it's there. Ah, that time. I think it's because I closed it so the resources were not there. Oh, it doesn't like issuing redirects in there. That's unfortunate. So anyway, this is how you can get publishing really quickly with Hacks, even without installing it. If you do want to install full copies of the architecture, we have access or links over to the Node.js, PHP, the desktop version. You can learn more about the project in general, how you can make sites. And now I really want to make sure I can make this little silly site here. There we go. Okay. I was getting a little concerned there that it wasn't redirecting me appropriately, but it did. Okay, good. So if you want to learn more about this, I suggest going to hacks.psu.edu or hacks.cloud, where you can get playing with this transformative way of building the web.